everyone, it's Mish here, and welcome to my channel. If you're new, thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope you stop by again. And for all you who have been returning and supporting me, I appreciate you so much. Today is Daphne's diary day. So we will be doing another page in the Daphne's diary glue book. I do have a playlist for all the pages that we've done so far. So if you haven't seen the playlist or you haven't seen them all, then check them out. It is great fun, and there's all kinds of different ideas. And some pages are just still so lovely to look at. So today's the day. So I haven't received my first edition number 1 2024. So this is still number 8 2023. I only received it like a week before Christmas. Today is only the third week in January. So I'm not sure. I think edition 1 would have went out on January the 9th, so it's probably going to be weeks before I get it. So I obviously don't want to do any kind of Christmas theme. I'll save this for next year and do some projects. But there was one page that I kept looking at, and I was thinking about it for the one that we did the last time. Are these little goats. I just think they're so cute. So I want to do something with them. I'm not exactly sure what. I will also look at doing some little embellishments from the magazine. So I'm going to go away. I'll cut those out, and then I'll look at what other little things that I think might go with the layout. I have something in mind of how I want to use these, but stay tuned. Okay, so I've gone away and I've done some cutting. I have cut a piece of card paper pad, pattern paper that I had, and it measures 5.5 by 8.5. So I'll probably use that as the background. And then I took a piece of 12 by 12. Can't find the other piece of this, but it was a 12 by 12 piece of patterned paper, and I've cut it into a 3-inch strip, and then I've scored it at 4 inches. So that's 4, 8, then 12, and then this is the little I don't know, banner strip that you generally cut off, but I'm going to keep it on because I want to attach another piece of paper to it. So I'm just going to do that now so that that'll be set for when I'm ready. So that's going to go on there. So it's going to fold up like so. Because what I thought I would do is I'm going to make like a fold out little photo, I don't know, album, I guess you'd say. A little, so I've got a piece of vellum, and the vellum, I don't know, I think it's probably like 3¼ by 4¼ and I took my pinking shears and I just pinked around it because I thought it would look nice to have a little bit of a frame on there. And then, yeah, so I'm going to put that on now. I think I'm just going to put it on with some tape runner. Just around all the sides. And a little bit in the middle. So then I'm just going to try and center that. Excuse my head if it gets in the way. My camera went all wonky, and it's nighttime now. So I've been in the craft room literally all day. I've gone in and out to do different things, but I've basically been in here. Okay, so, and I want it to open this way. It's going to open down. So the other thing that I want to do is before I stick it down completely, I want my closure, which is going to be this one. So I can't forget not to stick that completely down. So then I went ahead and I've cut out our little goat people, our little family, and I thought I would get them stuck down in here. However, yeah, I like it like that. So I have some repositional Elmer's glue. So what I'm going to do for right now is just tack them down, just in case I decide I want to move them or put something underneath them. I don't think I will, because I don't want to add too much dimension to this, or it's just going to be too thick. So, but we can look at embellishing them in a different way. So that's kind of how I want it to go. So then I'm going to put a front panel on that. But before I do that, I need to do a couple other things. So I went and I found a little tag from, I ended up using issue 8, but I also, in issue 7, I found this little tag, which I probably could have found one in issue 8, but I just found it, which I want to put on the front. And I also found this little, I don't know, mandala, half of a mandala, just a little accent piece that I thought I would put at the bottom of that, because I kind of liked how that looked, and then I'd cut off the sides. I just couldn't decide if I wanted, how I wanted it to look. I think I do want it kind of centered. So I'm just going to go ahead and just stick that down. And then I can go ahead and, I got a glass mat over here, and then I can cut off the edges like so. Okay. So then we'll just trim that. Find my scissors. Like so. Okay, so then that's going to be kind of the front piece, which I really like. And then that's going to be the tag, and it's going to be part of the closure. And then I just cut a little piece of that. And then maybe I had, oh here, I had a little bit of vellum. So I could do like a little vellum. That's what I think I'll do. So I'll just put that down on there. And I'll take my pinking shears just to put a little border on there. So I was saying in one of my last videos that I've been watching The Sound of Music, like, I think over Christmas I watched it like 12 times. Now I didn't sit down and watch it like just a movie, but it was on while I was crafting or doing other things. So I became obsessed with Christopher Plummer. So I don't know why, but I just was. Maybe I was in the mood to be kind of fairy tale romance, but so I was kind of looking at other movies that he had done, and then I come across the Thornbirds, and I remember as a kid, I must have been like 15 or 16 when the Thornbirds came out. And I remember being so in love with Richard Chamberlain. I think it was like the first movie that I ever saw that was, you know, for its time, was kind of racy. So I just became obsessed with Richard Chamberlain. So I decided that I hadn't seen the movie in, I don't know, 40 years, 38 years. So I thought, well, I'm going to cut this little part of that off. I'm going to go and buy the movie. So I went online and I found the Thornbirds and I ordered it and I got it the other day. And I watched it. Well, obviously since it's been many, many years, kind of forgot the plot line of it. Well, oh my gosh, I'll tell you. When it came to the last episode, I cried and I cried and I cried. I think I cried for like a half an hour because I had forgotten how sad it was. But I still enjoyed the movie. I love that era of movies. So I'm just going to let that dry for a second. That's going to be my closure. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little magnet on the back side. Now with magnets, you need a positive and a negative. Oh, and those are definitely a positive and a negative. So I'm going to put one on the back of this, and I'm going to put one underneath there before I tack it down. But I just need to figure out where we want it to go. It's so easy to do this, so I don't feel like, oh my gosh, what is she doing? Because it's easy enough to just put your magnets down. So I think I'm going to want it like kind of on the back there. So, yeah. Actually, I can just leave it on there for... No, I'll take it off. I can get them apart now. These are really good magnets. Okay, so it had cut out there, so I'm not sure what all that you saw, and I haven't wound it to look, but I've just put I'm going to do a magnet closure, so I've put a magnet on there, and I've got this all full of glue, and then I'm just going to put a backing piece on there. So I was talking about the Thornbirds, and so what I did at around the same time is I ordered the movie Shogun with Richard Chamberlain, because I remember watching that at the same time, like around the time. And I remember I really liked that too. Now whether I'll really like it, I can't even really remember what it was about. But that's coming in the mail, so I should be getting that tomorrow. So that's going to be my winter evening movie treat. It's been a while. Okay, so I got a bit of a backing on there. I think that's stuck down good. Okay. Trim that off. All right. So we've got that part. Let's get rid of our garbage. And then I want, it's going to be the fiddly part. I guess I could, so I want it to open up like that. Okay. So I need to find the middle of this. And I have this Tim Holtz ruler, which I do find extremely handy. I will put it in the description below for those of you who don't have it. So what this ruler does is it helps you find the middle. And if you're good at math and you can do it with no problem, then that's fine. But I really like, I just put the 0 and then make sure there's equal amounts on each side. So I've got 1.5, 1.5. Well, this is a 3-inch piece of paper, so I could have figured that much out on my own, but I still like it. So then this piece is going to go there, and then I want that, I want it to be about that far from the bottom, I guess. So let's just make a little mark here. Okay, so I guess, I think I'll use some tape runner, and I think I'll use a little bit of glue. Okay, oops, so we'll get that down. And I didn't put glue or tape around the whole length of it because some of it's not going to be hidden in the back. Okay. Okay, so then the second thing, that tag looks a little bit crooked, but is I want to get my magnet in the right place. So what I'll do, that looks a bit crooked. Is I will get that kind of where I want, where that's going to be. It's this part that's crooked. There. Okay. That's on there really tight. Okay. It's going to have to do. Right, so then I'm just going to put that on the back to where it flips. So I know it's good and stuck there. I'll get another little piece of score tape to put underneath there. Like so. Okay, and then doesn't really matter if I take that off or not. So then I think to fasten that down, I think I might use a little bit more score tape. I just want to get, I have a different size of score tape here. So I'm just going to put around the magnet just to keep that from lifting up when I open and shut the closure. So I'll just get that off. And then I'll secure the front panel to the flip out. Okay, and this just around here I can use just glue. It's fine, it'll hold it. I just didn't want the middle to be lifting up and stuff with the magnet closure opening and closing. I don't know if I mentioned, but the glue that I use is just called Elmer's Stronghold, I think. And I find it a good glue. Okay. Right, so I've got the front piece down. Oops. All right. So I'm just going to rub that and make sure it gets on there nice and good. All right, so then, perfect. So once that's attached to the front, then I'll open that up and then I can do my pull out of my family. So the other thing that I did is I cut out on that page where the goats were. So on this side of the page was where all the goats were here. So I cut that off and then cut them out. And then I cut out a floral thing. And then on the opposite side, because I looked through the magazine and there wasn't a lot of floral things that I could do kind of to collage around. But on the other side, there was this page and it had a border all the way around it. So what I did is I cut the border off and then I cut out all kinds of, from that border, I cut out all kinds of images. Okay, so I've got a bunch of stuff there. I can't lose that. All right, and the other thing that I did is I took my little reinforcer and I made a little reinforcement for there. But I need my crocodile so I can cut a hole in that. So I'm just going to use my glue and I'm just going to put down this little reinforcer right on there. We'll glue that down. We've been having pretty good weather here. I'm in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And we often have really nasty weather. But we've had mostly rain. I haven't really had to shovel. Sorry, I'm trying to get this lined up and I can't quite see it. I haven't had to shovel yet, which is amazing. There we go. Okay. So I've got my little reinforcer done there. But for the front of that, I did find a little bouquet. So I thought that I might put that on there because I thought that that looked kind of cute. So we'll get this down on our little tag there. Okay. And then like I said, I cut a bunch of these from that border. And I was thinking that I could put some of it. I had two little kind of square here. Two little square pieces that I thought I could kind of put underneath there as a bit of a border. I kind of liked how that looked. I thought that looked really cute. So I am going to put that down by just putting a little bit of glue along here. And then I'm just going to stick that very edge along there. I am going to glue it down, obviously, so it doesn't have to. I just want it to sit on there. Just at the very edge. Because I thought that looked cute. And then I couldn't decide, but I think I like that down on that edge. So we'll take it down there. And we'll put that just on that very edge. And then that kind of frames our little flip out. Our little goat friends. Like so. Okay, I like that. And then we'll try to get this situated down on the paper. So for now, I'm going to just tack the middle down in case I want to tuck things along the sides. It's a very handy little trick when you're doing collage, this kind of collage anyway, in that you may want to stick something underneath. Okay, so let's see if we can get this down somewhere and have it relatively straight. My lighting isn't the best here. How does that look? I I think that looks pretty good. So I want it right about there. Okay, so we've got that down like so. Okay, so now we have some little bits. So this one here was the big one that actually I think I'll, well, wait, that came on the same side, and I was thinking that I would, because there's no picture there, I kind of thought just to have that on that page to break it up. We could use that as a journaling spot if you wanted to, if you didn't want to put an image there. Write about your pictures. I've made the girls some little mini albums like when they graduated, and I always like to leave a little journal spot where I've put some pictures just so they can write about how they felt at the time, so that years later, like when they're my age, they can look back and kind of think about how they thought about that situation. Okay, so then the next thing is that I just thought I'd take some of these and go along and maybe make a little border. I keep pulling that off camera, I think, because my camera, I knocked it with my head here not too long ago, and so it's off kilter a bit. Chester's getting rowdy. You might hear him in the background. He's right underneath my desk. That little guy. And I mean, you don't need to throw everything but the kitchen sink at it, but I kind of like that. And I kind of think something down here in this corner, maybe this, and then I think that's too big. I could put just a little something something. Or maybe not. I think that's probably okay. It looks, oh, what if I move that? Oh, that, see now, something like that just solved the problem. So then I can pull that down a bit so that it doesn't look too cluttered there. And I think that's good. Oh, so we'll get that down. Hi, Chesser. Yeah, I hear ya. He likes to make himself known to the crafting community. He's got a little place on the other side of my desk. My desk abuts the window here, so I've made a little spot, and it's barriered with, so that he can't kind of get on the craft table. He used to walk right through I'd have a project going on and he'd walk right through it. So now he's learned kind of to stay on his side. But when he wants attention, he jumps down and he comes round and he sits at my feet. But just before I was doing the videotaping, I went out and I gave him some food, and he's got water, so he just wants attention. He is a very attention-seeking cat. He's a ginger male cat, and I think that they are notorious for being very demanding. I hope that that's in a good spot because I can't move it now. Except I can lift that up. Pull it over just a little bit. Okay, so that's down, that's down. So let's get this bottom one down. Anybody have any plans to go away this winter? used to travel a lot. But since COVID, and it's not because of COVID in any way, but since COVID, I really haven't made any plans. I think part of it is money. So, in a way, because I'd rather right now do crafting and spend my time in my craft room than, I don't know, than go away. And the money you spend on craft supplies, people don't realize who don't do crafts. Like, you know, the cost. And, you know, I don't get anything from the YouTube channel. Someday I might. Which might be nice, especially as I'm heading into retirement. It'd be nice to subsidize your income. Heavens knows what the economy's going to be like then. In another five years. I'll probably retire in 5 years. Okay, so that part's down. So then, let's just get this little floral with the flourish. Okay. All right, so we have that down. So then I have a saying that says, having someone to love is family. And it just kind of goes with my pictures here, and that sometimes we can choose who our family is. So I kind of like that saying. I just printed it off on my label maker. I read it somewhere. So we'll get that down. Okay, and then, so then we have our little opening there. We have our little flip down here pictures. So then the last thing I wanted to do, and I don't think I'm going to get it all on camera, is I thought about just how can I kind of add a little something to these guys without adding too much dimension. You know, because I could have popped this up on some dimensionals, put some twine or thread behind it, or put some jewels, but the more I do that, the more that's going to be popped out. So I thought I would use either some stickles, or I have some other glitter. So, oh, and I have their names here, which I now don't know who's who, but I'm going to also probably put their name there. So we'll just set those aside, but I might have to do that after because I forget. Right, so with this, kind of thought, let's start maybe with this guy here. And I thought about just doing a little thing there with his flower. And then I have my little shake off, which is going to be a bit awkward, but oops, look, I got it all over there. How'd that happen? All right, so plan B, I'll just dump it onto the desk. And then I'll get it in here, put it back. Okay, so that's that one, which I'm making a royal mess of this. Oh man, I've got to. So then for the other one, I just need to get tissue here. All right. For this guy here, I thought I would do maybe some gold stickle in his. And see, with stickles, they're not like Nuvo drops. With stickles, they dry, there's no really dimension. They just dry glittery. Okay, so we'll get a little on this bow there. I don't know if you can see that. So we've got his bow, we've got her flower, and then for that one there, I've just got some kind of like crystal effects, but I wasn't sure with her because hers are two little flowers on the sides, but we'll see. We'll just put some blobs on each side and see what happens. I think I put too much. Sorry, I'm going to have to turn this because I can't quite see. Okay, so I'm going to let those dry, and then I'll come back and put it in the book, and if I can think of anything else while they're drying, then I'll do that when I come back. So we'll see you in a minute. Okay, well, I got the page all into the book, I just put it in one of the in the first signature, which is right there. I absolutely love it. So you just flip up your little magnet and you can pull that down, and you can see a little bit how that it really does sparkle on those. So I'm absolutely loving that. So yeah, so that's it for today. If you did like it, I'd love for you to give me a like and leave a comment. And if you haven't subscribed, it would be great. And until next time, I hope you stay safe and well, and bye for now.